Okay, so today, since we are entering Halloween season, I figured now would be a good time for y'all to get the tea on which books I think were worth reading in the horror genre. So it's like I read it kind of here and there, kind of sporadically. It's not like my main genre, but I do read enough of it that I can give you some recs. So, especially if you're somebody that like just wants something for this season, but it's also not like your main one. These are ones that I thought were pretty good. So I'm gonna tell y'all those, and then we'll also talk about the ones that I want to read. And then if you've read them, you let me know in the comments what you thought about them. All right. So, anyways, let's start with the ones that I recommend. Okay. So let's see the ones I recommend. Top of the list. I read The Eyes Are the Best Part by Monica Kim. So this one, this is the Evernight edition, but this one, as this cover implies, our main character, she's like going through some stuff, kind of like her mom is dating this white dude, and she's not into it. She does not like it. He's fetishizing her mom, who is Asian, and like she's Asian, it's that weird ugliness of like just being fetishized. So she's like, ugh, like she gets obsessed with his like blue eyes, and she gets obsessed with eating eyeballs. So this like becomes a thing, where she just gets obsessed and starts doing that. So the book is about her like falling into this obsession of eating eyeballs, and getting into that. So this is gonna have body horror, and it's gonna have just like, that guy's so cringe. It's so cringe. And then like, I think there was even another dude that was like being cringy toward her. Like, it's not a good time, but it's horror, so it is a good time, in that sense. So, yeah, the book is about her doing these crimes and trying to get away with it, and so I liked that. And then, I thought it was very interesting. I think that was a debut as well, if I'm not mistaken. That might have been a debut, so pretty good for a debut. Let's see. After that, we have Market of Monsters series by Rebecca Schaefer. So this one is a YA horror, and that series, it's a trilogy, and it's about our main character who, she has a mom that is like in the market of the black market of selling monster parts, or like supernatural parts, because I think I forget exactly what they're called in that, but there's like regular humans, and then there's like the unnaturals or supernaturals or whatever, and they have different features, obviously, like our main character, she can like turn off her pain and stuff like that, so she's kind of like a really rare type that people don't know about that much, but there's like Xannies and stuff where they feed off of people's pain and stuff like that. So some of them look kind of normal, but some of them don't. But then, like, people want their parts for certain things, so they're supposed to have certain properties. Some medicinal, some make you high and stuff. So, like, there's a market for this stuff, and it's all pretty hush hush and messed up. So, anyways, her mom sells body parts, basically. And our girl does the dissections for her mom. So her mom always brings them already dead, though. And so the thing about it is, one day her mom brings home a live boy, and all of a sudden she's like conflicted. Like, for her she's like, whatever, they're already dead, so but she had no problem with that. But once she's confronted with like a living kid, that's like her age, I think, all of a sudden she has issues with it. So anyways, I blew through the series. It's a lot about like going through that marketplace and being in the underworld. So she goes back and forth from like the book starts in like, was it Argentina? Something like that. So they're in like one country, and then she ends up going to like Canada, and it kind of goes internationally back and forth. But yeah, basically this sets off a chain of events that leaves her running for her life. And so I thought it was very interesting to see how she handled that, and all of the discovery, I guess, of where her morals really lie, because she has to like kind of figure that out throughout this series, like what's acceptable to you, what's not acceptable to you. So she's very much confronted with all of that in this series, and so I liked it for that. So that one's very gory too, just so you know, obviously. And there's torture and stuff in there, so you know. There's that. Let's see. After that, we have the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. I know a lot of people recommend this book. I liked it. Like, I blew through this book like pretty quickly. I mean, I feel like that's the thing about horror, is usually pretty fast reads. But this one, it's like there's like, yeah, as the title implies, there is a book club of women, and they are just like noticing something off about their new neighbor. And so they kind of like get involved in figuring that out, and like all, because all these kids are going missing and stuff. Like, kids are going missing, and you know, ever since this guy comes into town, so they're putting two and two together, and like, you know, basically getting to the bottom of it and handling business. And so I liked this book. It was nice to see people coming together to protect their community, basically, is what happens in this book. So yes, although like the vampire of this book is like kind of a weird vampire. I don't know, like I haven't heard of one like this, but exactly, but yeah, there's that. And then let's see, House of Hollow and the Invocations. Okay, so this is also YA. The Invocations by Crystal Sutherland. I also read House of Hollow by this author, which I also recommend. So basically, this author, so far I've read those two, and they're both YA horror, and they're just both good. I like them. So this one is like a group of girls that are like involved in like witchcraft. They do witchcraft, and it's like not pretty cutesy witchcraft. It's like you're messed up for life, and one of them's like really stinky all the time, and like part of her body's like rotting or something. It's gross. Like, it's gross. It feels really more like real and more visceral. Like, it's not stuff you just play around with in this book. But yeah, this group of girls ends up having to like deal with all kinds of crazy stuff together, but it's like really intense. And then the other book by this author is like, it kind of deals with that, like the idea of changelings, the House of Hollow. So that one is like, if I remember correctly, it's like some kids like went missing at one point, but then they reappeared, and everyone's just like, what the hell? And so then you kind of end up like following that trail of like what the heck happened, because I think it happened like again or something, and that's what set it off, the train of events. But yeah, it's good. Like, this is also it's like gory and gross, and she does not skimp on those details. Like, for YA, this is gonna be like kind of hardcore for YA. Just so you know. Just so you know. So that is girlhood. Intense girlhood. But yeah, I had listened to this as an audiobook, and then I went and grabbed it physically because I needed this to read it again, because it was good. I liked it that much. So then after that, let's see. After that, oh, okay. Books by Christina Henry. So she has different series where it's like a retelling of Alice and Wonderland, and then a retelling, her version of The Lost Boy, like, you know, Peter Pan. And both of these are like messed up. Like Alice in Wonderland, you have like girls getting snatched, and I mean, this horror, like, people are getting snatched. The caterpillar is like big time evil, doing stuff. There's like a criminal underground. There's the White Rabbit's like part of this like underground world that's like messing people up and all of that. And then yeah, and The Lost Boy. Ooh, The Lost Boy, there's murder in that too. So, you know, it's not a good time. It's not a good time, but it's like, if you want like horror versions of those, then Christina Henry, she will give you those versions. Very like, it's what you know, but make it twistier and more messed up. So there's that. Let's see. The Spirit Bears Its Teeth by Andrew Joseph White. This one is we have a trans character who is living in Victorian times. This dude, his parents are trying to be like, well, we're gonna have to marry you off so you can have babies and blah blah, trying to impose all the stuff that women get imposed upon. But it's more complicated because in this one, people with violet eyes, which our main character has, can see like spirits, and like they have that power. They have like power, and so it's more important for their families, especially, to like try to keep that ability going through their families and stuff. So there's the whole legacy thing, and so our main character gets sent. I can't remember if they got sent in or if it was just that they were there to get somebody out. Something happened, but anyways, I this one there does end up being like asylum stuff worked in, and then our main character is just like not having a good time, obviously. But yeah, there's like spirits and asylum and all of that kind of stuff in that book. But it was good. So if you want to read about a trans character in Victorian times having a bad time, there's that book. Okay, let's see. After that, we have Goddess of Filth by V. Castro. This was a really quick, short book. This is what made me like V. Castro's writing. It's the first one I tried out, but it was like a really short, like, novella. And this one had to do with like girlhood, I guess, like womanhood. Because I just remember that there was like a scene with like period blood and all this stuff, and it was nasty. This one is short and it is nasty. And this one they did like occult stuff, and then like one of their friends got like possessed. They were messing around with stuff, and one of the friends gets possessed, and now she's just like free bleeding in the garden and stuff, and it was nasty. It's just nasty and bloody. But yeah, it's a really quick book. Just kind of about that kind of stuff. Let's see. The Natural Beauty by Ling Ling Wang. That one is like a weird girl horror. Like weird is weird horror. So that one is our main character like lives like gets a job at this like beauty salon maker. Like they make products for like beautification and stuff, except it goes like really extreme. Like she ends up working there and like kind of getting behind the scenes. It looks into how things are getting made and what's going on with it, and it is disgusting and gross. And just like all the beauty treatments kind of turn you into a white woman. It's kind of like it's kind of crazy. It's weird but interesting, and then how it ends is just like okay. Like I can't tell you too much, but I just think it's kind of interesting. So that one does get kind of nasty. That one is like people are taking supplements and stuff, like their bodies are changing. I guess I read a lot of like body horror. But that had that. But I think this one, she has Immaculate Conception, and I feel like Immaculate Conception, even though it has a horror tag, but it didn't really feel as horrific as this one did. So this one's probably the better one if you're going to pick one book by her to read. I would say pick Natural Beauty. Ain't nothing natural about it, and that's what makes it hilarious and gross. Alrighty, so after that, we had Juniper and Thorn by Ava Reed. This is what made me like Ava Reed's books. This book is sad and messed up. So our main character, she's already having a bad time. Like she's has some mental illness going on. She's already mentally ill. Her dad really sucks. But they're like witches or whatever. So they do like magic and all that. But I don't know. Yeah, her dad sucks. And I think her mom's like dead or something, like I don't know, but her dad basically is giving her all kinds of issues. And yeah, like it's basically like, if I remember correctly, she's just like she's like having to go against all the stuff that her like dad is doing. And then like he's one of those possessive dads that don't want to let them go anywhere and stuff. So there's a whole bit about like trying to have her own life, but then she also has like mental problems on top of that. So it just kind of made everything rough. But yeah, that one's like a family of witches because I think she has a sister too in there. But yeah, if I remember, I mean, because I read this one like a few years ago, and I think her dad was really kind of the villain from what I can remember. Like her dad's like big time. So, anyways, that one has like I think it was like an eating disorder, if I remember correctly, and like family abuse and stuff. So rough topics, rough topics. Let's see. After that, I read Gallant by V.E. Schwab, and that one I think was YA, but that one's like a haunted house story. So that one, we have a girl who I think she like couldn't hear. She's either like deaf or she can't talk. Something. It was something like that. And but she ends up getting she ends up going through like this like gate or something she's not supposed to go through, and ends up at this house that's like basically like a haunted house in a messed up world. Like she's an orphan, but she had like a notebook from her mom, and then I don't know, she kind of like starts putting things together from that, but like basically she ends up interacting with like the spirit world or whatever in this, but it's like through a haunted house. So it's kind of a little scary, a little messed up, but from the perspective of a kid going through like into a haunted house that kind of goes through like I want to say she went through like some kind of portal in there, so that kind of thing. But yeah, not a good time for her. Then we have Comfort Me with Apples by Catherine M. Valente, I think. That one's also super short, so if you just want something really quick, that one is basically like that one's like very Adam and Eve coded. But you kind of piece together to the end like what the hell is actually going on in that little world. But yeah, it's a really fast read, like tiny ass little novella. But yeah, the little world, you quickly find out it's a very messed up little world that our main character is in. After that, I have The Book Eaters by Sunyi Dean, I think. So The Book Eaters. This one is where there are people that eat books instead of like regular food, and then they'll know everything that's in that book after they eat it. But there's also sometimes they end up with a kid that wants to eat brains, kind of like a zombie, but they're not a zombie, but they want to eat brains for knowledge, and so that's obviously a problem because then now you gotta hide bodies. So basically our main character ends up having a kid that she has to take care of. Her kid he's one of those brain eaters. But yeah, you eat the brain, then you know everything, and it kind of also messes them up. Like the other flip side of that is that like now you know everything that brain knew, and that especially for a kid to be eating like adult brain, now they know too much. They know too much for their age and stuff, and it's like a whole thing. So this one I think she ends up being on the run because she has to hide these bodies from her like kids eating and stuff. So it's rough and it's sad because she's trying to do all this for her kid, so that made it especially sad. But anyways, there's that one, and then after that I have Mexican Gothic, which I have a copy somewhere. I do not know where it is. I think it's in storage. By Sylvia Moreno Garcia, but that one is like a haunted house, and basically our main character Noemi, she ends up getting like letter from her cousin basically saying that she needs her help because her cousin lives in this house where she's like not doing well basically. So she comes over there to like see her cousin, and then it turns into this whole thing of like figuring out what the hell's going on in this house basically. So it's a haunted house story. So there's that. And after that we have and Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. It's my favorite classic. And obviously, we have a lot of movies and a lot of stuff based off of that one. So if you're going to pick a classic to read, make it Frankenstein. Because, it's perfect for this time of year. So anyways, those are all the recommendations that I have. And now, if you're still here, let me go through my TBR of stuff that I still want to read. So, anyways, so the one that I have that's coming out this year is Make Me a Monster by Caitlin Barron. And so this one I do believe is a Frankenstein retelling, but it's like a YA horror book, which I've been reading her books and been liking those. And then we have after that I have The Bewitching, also by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. I'll pretty much read anything Moreno Garcia puts out. But The Bewitching, I think that one does have to do with witches. I'm not entirely sure, but I'll just read anything she writes at this point. Next on my list, we have The Library at Hellebore by Cassandra Kaw. And, like, I don't entirely know what this is about. I just know it's kind of short. But, you know, I'm assuming that it's going to be, like, in a haunted library or something, which seems, like, really cool to me. And then, like, look at this art. It seems like it's going to be creepy. So, I haven't read anything by this author yet. I've been wanting to. So, 'cause I know she has, like, other horror books. So, we're going to try this one out soon, hopefully. After that, I have Graveyard Shift by Emma Rio. I also have her other book. I think her other book I listed on my Dark Academia video, which I made that one last year. So if you want Dark Academia Rex, I got you. But that's in a different video. But this one is under horror, Graveyard Shift, and this one's like a little novella. So I only like looked into the first page so far, and it's something about like people having insomnia and like sleep issues. So it's gonna, I guess, play with people's sense of reality is my guess for this one, Graveyard Shift. But I don't know, the little mushrooms and the rat make me think that it's gonna be kind of nasty. But we're gonna find out. After that, I have Bat Eater by Kylie Lee Baker. This one I know is basically like a COVID book. Like, it's got to do with the pandemic and basically people being, you know, that was like the racist stuff that people were saying during COVID lockdown and all that kind of stuff. So I know that this one's going to deal with that, with the pandemic. So, you know, gotta make sure that you can handle that topic. Let's see. After that, I have I Feed Her to the Beast and the Beast is Me. I think that one is YA. This one is by Jameson Shea. I Feed Her to the Beast and the Beast is Me. I think that one had to do with like a mentally ill teenager. I'm not entirely sure what that one's about. I just remember that I really wanted to read it. But I'm pretty sure that one's like YA and it has a sequel, and I have the sequel in here somewhere. So we're gonna see how it goes. But yeah, I don't know. I think it might have had to do, it was just like playing with reality, probably one of those. That's my guess. I don't know too much. I mean, I feel like for horror you can't know too much going in. You want to find out as you go. That's what makes it interesting. So that one I don't know too much, but it did sound interesting. The Sacrifice by Rin Chupeco. I think that one. Oh, that one's been on my list for a while. Let's see. This one I think also might have had jungle stuff going on, like jungle horror, but this one's YA. Let's see. An island oasis turns deadly when a terrifying legend threatens to kill off visitors one by one. Okay. Yeah, it's like a haunted island thing. So it sounds a little bit thrillery, like, you know, gotta run for your life type stuff. But, yeah. So, this one, I think I wanted to read it because the author also wrote the Bone Witch trilogy, which I liked those books. I liked the world set up in that one. So we'll see from there. So that one's YA. Then after that, I have Rouge by Mona Awad, which she writes weird-ass books, and I like those, so, you know, another weird horror type thing. And I think this one, you know, has to do with, like, beauty. So another one maybe in the line with natural beauty type stuff. But I think this one had to do with, like, you know, horror, but in dealing with, like, beauty and how people come off looking and stuff. So, yeah, Bella's obsessed with beauty, just like her estranged mother, Noelle. So, that'll be interesting. And I think I heard somebody say something, it was kind of like Snow White or something like that. Like, So maybe her mom's messing her up. I don't know too much yet, but I am excited to read that one because, it sounds like horror for women specifically, and I do like makeup and stuff, so we're gonna find out. This is gonna put me off wearing makeup for a little bit, or what? Okay, after that we have The Weight of Blood by Tiffany D. Jackson, and if I am not mistaken, this one is like a Carrie retelling, which I don't think I ever saw Carrie, so I don't even know. I don't even have that reference. But if you have that reference, then maybe you know what's going on. But anyways, I just wanted to read it. I think that one's YA, maybe? Anyways, I also have Certain Dark Things by Sylvia Moreno Garcia, which I wasn't sure was a horror, but I think that one, might have some fantasy elements in it, from what I remember. Let's see after that. My Throat and Open Grave by Tori Boalino. My Throat and Open Grave. Oh, okay, so this one's YA. Okay, this one's YA, and we have babies getting snatched by ghosts and stuff. So this one sounds like it's gonna be a ghosty story. And yeah, based on the cover, there's like a lot of little skulls around this lady, so yeah. This seems like she's gonna be like some haunted stuff's going on. Haunted creepy. So that kind. That's interesting. Let's see. And then we have She Is a Haunting by Trang Tatran? Dantran? Not sure how to pronounce it exactly. But She Is a Haunting. I've been wanting to read this. She is a haunting. Okay, so this one sounds like a haunted house book as well. But the cover just really got me. So yeah, I think this is a haunted house book, which that should be interesting. And that was also YA. I have a lot of YA horror. I guess because it just reads fast. And then the last one I have on this list is Plain Bad Heroines by Emily M. Danforth. And this book is thick. I have it in storage somewhere, and it is very thick, very long, and I think it has like multiple parts. That sort of thing going on. And at this point, I do not remember what it's about. I'm gonna check that real quick. Okay, this one is an adult book, but it says it's a horror comedy. I don't know what's supposed to be so funny about this. Okay, okay, I think this one also kind of falls into dark academia category sometimes, because it seems like this is at a cursed New England boarding school. So, instead of a haunted house, we're at a messed up boarding school. So it's one of those kinds of situations. So I guess it's probably in both categories, but yeah, this sounds perfect for the season then, because it is both. So yeah, that was the last book I had on the list, and there you go. Hopefully one of these books will entice you to pick it up. It's a starting point, at least. You start finding what you like, and then you can go from there. But anyways, we had adult options, we got YA options, plenty of options. Have fun reading.